crypto market is burning right now and many people are panicking, like full on panic mode. And I honestly don't really understand it. I mean, you guys all know what you've come for. Every single one of us knows it's not gonna be an easy ride, but if that deters you, well, my friend, then things are only gonna start getting worse from here, because the higher that prices go, as we've described multiple times, the riskier things get, and also the harder on the mental. The more the prices come up, the harder they can fall. That's literally how it goes. And so in essence, your thought should be, ooh, we're going up more and more and more. This is bad. You should get more and more afraid. And right now, as we come down lower, you should see those opportunities, I guess, for what they are. Opportunities. As you guys might know by now, I'm not really the one for bragging and boasting, but I did want to make clear what I've been shouting on the Dusty Trades channel. And hopefully I've been portraying the message here enough as well, which is just buy down lower. Again, I got some hatred for this yesterday, I think somewhere, as I was really excited to buy below 59,000 and it was instant profit rather quickly. Some people I think were laughing at that or not too happy. A little bit later though, I said, hey, I'm basically buying the freaking dip again till the dipperino. Right here, the price is at 57.5. We got to buy slightly better, and this is what it looks like on my account right now. But I actually opened up a second account because I noticed, ooh, prices are going too freaking low. If it's below 57,000, it's an automatic buy, but I think I bought multiple times in that hour time span, or at least in the 12-hour time span, with an average price of 57,500. And once more, I'm not trying to claim to be your guru. You guys know I'm not really in for all that. What I'm saying is, the lower that these prices go, the less risky that they get. And if your brain is thinking, oh, should I sell everything? Then times are gonna get really, really tough. And I'm recommending you to sit down and think for yourself if you really, truly believe that crypto will do well over a longer term. If you've convinced yourself that it probably will, then you can probably do what I'm doing here, which is just buy the freaking dip and not really be worried at all. Make sure if you're doing it with leverage that your liquidation price is not, 57,000 or something. Don't do 100x leverage without enough margin for it. If you're doing cross, for example, it could otherwise be fine. But the trade, for example, that we opened up a few hours ago only is in 50% worth of profit, which is not a whole lot, but it's not little either. To put it into perspective, a $100,000 trade would mean that we would have to put in about $6,000, I think, to trade with 100,000 basically at 17x leverage. And that right now would be in, let's say, $3,000 worth of profit. So $6,000 in the trade, $3,000 worth of profit. Definitely not too bad. Again, if it's $1 million trade, just times it by 10. If it's a $10 million trade or even a $25 million trade, you guys know what to do. Just to give it some perspective. A $100,000 trade ain't that much, even though people think of these big numbers, because you are using leverage, and especially as you get towards the 50x or 17x here. If I'm putting $25,000 in a trade, you're trading with $425,000, right? So it's a pretty significant trade then, even though you're only putting up medium sums of money. Besides the point though, why are things coming down? You might say CZ getting 4 months worth of jail was a thing. CZ was the co-founder of Binance, and he's been officially sentenced to jail. It could be that it has to do with the US interest rate numbers. Don't personally think it has too much to do with it, but it could. It could be that BlackRock officially had the first day's worth of outflow, even though there's generally speaking mostly still positive news, I'll be honest with you. Second largest European bank, BNP Paribas, reports exposure to Bitcoin ETF in 13 filings. So it's all just getting started. If you're negative about this whole situation, just take a step back and realize that you're just being manipulated for the most part. But for some reason, none of it open anymore. There we go. That's a relatively big outflow for Grayscale. We now have 170 million on BBG though. This was a little bit before, and a little bit afterwards it came up that IBIT had some outflows, as you can see right here. Anyway, just trust me on that. The numbers you can see for yourself if you look at the ETF flows. It says here roughly, Don is saying roughly 40 million worth of outflows, and some of the other ETF providers had some bigger outflows. So generally speaking, just some negative numbers, which once more are normal in any market though. But let's cover some other things. For example, the former PayPal president, David Marcus, says Bitcoin is going to be the native currency of AI. I want to quickly point back at what I said earlier of, if you're looking for a sector or tokens to go for, and you're not heavily focusing on AI coins, I think you're going to miss out. I think you're going to miss the boat. There are many coins that I'm excited about, which I keep sharing with you. But just know, really AI, I think, is going to be the biggest thing for this bull market.
Something that requires the friction of converting non-digital money into digital money. So it has to be digitally native. And no one in the world will accept any form of native digital value that's not maximally neutral. Right, because it's like not like the Europeans are not going to accept an American version of a digital asset, or vice versa. And so, like, what is the most neutral form of digital native internet money? It's Bitcoin. And so, if you make it super efficient, super fast, real time, at the speed of AI transactions, that's basically going to be the native currency of AI. And then, you know, it's kind of this interesting thing where, you know, a few years ago, there was this article that blew my mind that, you know, Google Translate built AIs to do the translation service, which is like, you know, really a mind-boggling service when you think about it, you know, 20 years ago, like a thing that you can talk to and speaks another language. It's pretty remarkable what they did with it, with this level of fidelity. But they figured out that this AI that was actually using unassisted learning, unaided learning, came up with its own language. And it was kind of its own neutral language to basically translate one language to another using its own thing. And so what is it going to be for value between AI agents? Definitely Bitcoin, because that's the neutral language of value on the internet, native.
I expected him to be excited, but honestly, I didn't expect him to be this excited. It's a little bit weird to me, but then again, let's call the bias out where it should be called out. This man obviously is very heavily biased in favor of crypto, since they're right now one of the bigger facilitators of it. Again, some news that has just come out. US PayPal users can now purchase the following cryptocurrencies through MoonPay: Solana, Cardano, Polkadot, Chainlink, Shiba Inu, and Dogecoin. So from that perspective, I think it does make a whole lot of sense for the PayPal CEO and anybody PayPal really to be quite excited about, oh, this crypto stuff's gonna take over. They've got their feet in the door. Talking about feet and doors and inside of things, man, what am I doing? I can't fully show you this, so I'll just quickly pause it because I don't want to get my channel, you know. I don't want to see some of the issues here. But this stuff is unhinged. So some crazy stuff happened in crypto a little bit earlier today. And Shah says, only in crypto, this kid launched a coin and the utility is exploiting his own mother. I've never seen anything like this in my life. Degens are on a whole nother level. I'm not gonna show you the shaking of, you know, but it's interesting. That's, to say the least, it's interesting. So part of the story can be seen on the top left over here, which is DEX will be prepaid, and then there's basically rewards. Mom does 15 squats at different milestones, so 300K for example. And if you're asking how did the coin do, no, it rugged pretty quickly. It didn't do well at all, but it was a funny experience. Again, if you look really nicely, you can see why it might have been successful for a bit. But this is sometimes why I say, if you are not involved in any of these coins and you're never buying them, are you really having the full crypto degenerate experience? No. You're having a normal crypto experience, which, in my opinion, ain't as fun. This type of stuff, I think you might only find in crypto, and it's something I will tell to the kin of kins. You know, these are funny stories to have. Some kid pimping out his mother for, or the opposite way around, I guess. The mom being like, let's make some money. And it actually kind of working in this sense, and people going crazy for it over on Twitter and on Kick and everything. It's stories, it's fun. Obviously, never put your life savings into something as stupid as this. It's literally just degeneracy squared or cubed in that sense. But it is something interesting that is really unique to the space that crypto's in right now, where I think a lot of these opportunities, a lot of these fun parts will be gone over the next few years. And that's why I keep telling people, explore as much as possible, you know, within realms, and try to figure out how a lot of this stuff works. First of all, before it's too late, but second of all, because from a bull market perspective, I think everybody's still pretty early, right? And this might sound stupid, but for me, for example, by getting scammed once, even though I can't remember getting scammed, but I guess, yeah, okay, there've been a fair amount of rug pulls. So let's just say it like that. By getting scammed once, when just playing around with $10, $20, $50, for example, I prevent myself from getting scammed for, let's say, $100,000 or $1 million, who knows? But trust me, I get scammed often if we're talking about me losing money on a coin still. I seriously think if anybody looks at the digits here, if anybody looks at my numbers, they'd be kind of heartbroken and shocked by the amount of money that I get scammed. But I personally don't consider it scamming. I just consider it the investment doing bad, even though sometimes it's literally theft. Like with another project you guys might know about. Don't want to say the name because of what's in the name, but it's something with ZK. Let's just say it like that. They also stole my money, unfortunately. But hey, c'est la vie, it's crypto. And once more, because I've been through this a lot, I know always spread it out properly. Always realize you can definitely lose every single dollar you've put in. And the idea being, these are very, very risky things I'm going for, with the idea of it's either 50x or 0. There's not really too much in between. Very often it does go in between, but that's my investment thesis with those high risk projects. And you might say, oh, but what type of coins? That's again, perhaps because you've not been exploring it enough, which is not bad, because once more, if I think about it, you don't really have to explore all those endeavors. It's mostly fun, and it's the quicker sort of turnover. But that's also where the risk comes from. I just think it's something a lot of people that are watching these videos might like, but they've just never really fully understood. And I'm saying you right now, it takes some time, but you have got time. And many of the lessons you learn here, for example, how to use Solana, you might learn from it just from being, busy with trying to buy these coins. How do DEXs work? What is wrong with DEXs sometimes? How does liquidity work? All those things you learn from being involved with some of these stupider coins that can help you again with some of the more serious projects down the line. Once more, been talking for too much. It's just my personal thesis of learn how to buy meme coins, for example, learn about it. You don't actually have to do it, but it's very nice to indulge yourself in that world, because otherwise you might never really make that step, which, however, could be very useful for all these sort of legitimate things. And if your bus driver ever comes along and says, hey, I'm trying to buy this new dog thing coin, whatever, you'd know how, which is also kind of a flex. Anyway, those are just my thoughts right now, some of the crazy stuff going on. I just wanted to quickly mention it all. I hope you guys are still able to hang in there and it's not been too rough on you, all this crypto dump carnage. Me personally, I'm chilling very nicely. And yeah, that's about it.